Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri Richardson. One thing that I noticed about people, and I think that as content creators, we need to be more responsible with our platform. One thing that I noticed about people is that we're unwilling to bring ourselves back to the front of the congregation in order to acknowledge the good when people do good. And so we're not actually being objective. When Sha'Carri Richardson was fumbling the bag and Nike was on the fence and she was going back and forth in her personal life and everything was making it out to the media, everybody had everything to say. But you know what I don't see? I don't see all of these content creators having a conversation and talking about the good things that she's doing also. See, as an equal accountability partner and as an equal accountability smoke giver, we're not just impartial, or we don't just have conversations based off of holding men accountable and holding women accountable. We also have to give credit where credit is due. We have to highlight the good, and we have to give just as much energy over into the good as we do into the bad. When we have coaching calls with a lot of you guys, right? And you tap into me and you say, Anton, this is what I accomplished this week, so on and so forth. And they want to quickly skip over all of the good things that they did and get right into solving for the problems that they having problems with. I stop them immediately. And I say, hold on. We're not just going to skip over the fact that you graduated. We're not going to skip over the fact that you just became successful. We're not going to skip over the good things that you've done. We're not going to skip over this milestone moment that you accomplished and only spend 2 minutes on that and spend the next 40 minutes on something about how it is that I need to hold you accountable. We're going to also acknowledge and give just as much energy to what it is that you're doing well, because maybe we can leapfrog off of that with the learned lessons in order to continue to push you forward, right? Sha'Carri Richardson, for all that she's done over the last 1-2 years, and thank you, LH. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. Sha'Carri Richardson, for all that she got into and all of the issues, because y'all got to remember, this girl is still young. She's still young, meaning that she had some problems. Yeah, she looked like she was for the streets. She had the long nails, whatever, so on and so forth. And we did endless live streams and endless conversations about Sha'Carri Richardson as content creators. But I don't see anybody having a conversation about what she's accomplished over the last couple of days, over the last year, how she got focused, how she was really, really dedicating herself, and she was really running that checkup, and she was mopping the floor with everybody, that she went back into the lab and she got quiet and she did what it is that she needed to do, and she learned from her mistakes and she started to make adjustments. Why don't we give the same amount of energy over into the good stuff as we give over into the bad stuff? I'm curious. Why don't we give the same amount of energy over into the good stuff as we do into the bad stuff? Interesting. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit a conversation that I was having well over 2 years ago about what Sha'Carri Richardson did to fumble the bag. All right, make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. I'm gonna bring myself to the front of the congregation and I'm gonna revisit what it is that I posted and had a conversation about as far as Sha'Carri Richardson, and then we're gonna go from there. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I do have my Rich Bully hoodie on. Shout out to y'all that's been rocking with me since all this time. We are in season 3. Shout out to y'all that was rocking with me back in 2021, 2020, 2021. Here, let's fast forward. We was doing housekeeping. Sha'Carri Richardson. A great package. She was a star in college and widely expected to become the next star, the next track and field athlete star, blowing away the competition. And then she really rose to fame when people found out that she had been having some private family problems and things like that. But recently, it's come out that she's tested positive for a banned substance for track, which is known as marijuana. Now, I know that there's a lot of debate that goes on every single day. Oh, it shouldn't be banned and all of this other type of stuff. And there's been a outpouring of support across social media and Twitter, but I've also seen a lot of people say, man, I can't believe that she messed up the bag. Man, I can't believe that, you know, she should have known better, and so on and so forth. So let's extend a little bit of grace in that she is young, right? Same energy. I'm the same person that I was yesterday as I am today. The same energy. I have not even watched this. I literally just found it, threw it up there, and I said, you know what? I'm going to bring myself to the front of the congregation to see what it is that I said about her. I said, listen, we need to extend some grace to this girl because she's young. We need to extend some grace to this girl because she is young. That is what I said. It is documented. It is literally right here, and we're watching it in real time. She is young, and everybody has made mistakes. I fumbled the bag at parts of my life, which has propelled me to be a lot more successful today, right? So with that in consideration, I ran across an article on. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward a little bit because I want to get to the final of what I said before we get into what it is that she's accomplished. People no longer care about the story. They only care about the results, ultimately. So that's just my take on it from a business perspective. I always look at things from a business perspective. And again, I am compassionate to the situation. And the same reason why you become successful or you become a marketed star, the fact that she overcame can be the exact same reason why it is all taken away from you. You can't pick and choose how you are successful and then why people shouldn't hold you accountable. You got to keep the same energy across the board. The same way that I'm personally very, very much brash, that I live my life like an open book. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to it from both ways. I take all of the compliments and the things that people say about me graciously, and I love it. And I also have to embrace the negativity that comes with it. And I'm talking about constructive criticism or things that are actually valid. We're not talking about people that just hate you out of a jealous thing. We gonna keep pounding on them and beating them in the head. We don't care about them. We gonna make them suffer. It's always gonna be those type of guys. But again, you have to look at it from both sides, and hopefully she can learn from this. Hopefully this becomes an experience that she looks at and, you know, she overcomes. We always have to. Damn, Anton still had a different Rolex on back then. Suffer. We always have to embrace our failures in order to propel us to be more successful. Interesting. We need to learn from our experiences. I think that she can overcome it as long as she learns from her failures in order to be able to get to the successes. Then she'll be fine. That was my perspective. That was my take on it. That was what I seen when I seen her going through what she was going through as far as somebody holding her accountable. Yes, she has to be accountable for her actions. But then at the same time, she can overcome this. Well, okay, cool. Fast forward. Destroying everything. You know what they called this situation that she was in today? Or that she just won? An improbable victory. All of the Jamaicans, they say the Jamaican women, the Jamaican guys, that they're the fastest runners in the world and there's nothing that they can do, that Americans can do, and Americans ain't won gold and all of this different time or whatever, so on and so forth. Okay, well, let's replay parts of it. I don't want to replay all of it because obviously for certain reasons. Since 2017, women have not won a medal since 2017. Let's fast forward. I wonder why we don't have that same energy as far as the color of her hair and all of that other type of stuff as we have for Sha'Carri Richardson. I wonder why we don't have the same energy that we have for the Jamaicans that have colored hair. Red, yellow, gold, all of that. I see a purple hairstyle up there. We don't have the same energy that we had for them that we had for Sha'Carri Richardson. I wonder why. Is it that we don't have really any expectations for it? Or the only thing we care about is the winners? When you're a winner, what happens is people extend grace. When you're a winner, people extend grace. They wasn't even talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. They wasn't even talking about Sha'Carri Richardson at all. They literally wasn't even taking her into consideration. Sha'Carri Richardson is literally at the bottom left hand of your screen. Lane 9. Lane 9. She's lane 9, all right? She's behind. They said you can't run them down. They too fast. Underdog. Not good enough. Look at the disappointment on that woman's face. Look at the disappointment on that woman's face. She is not happy about what the hell just happened. What just happened? Nobody was even paying attention to lane 9. Nobody was talking about or paying attention to lane 9. So let me do this. I don't want to play any more of it. I just want to make sure that y'all understand this. I want to give Sha'Carri Richardson her flowers. In the same way that we held her accountable for all of the things that she did and all of the situations that she put herself in, self-inflicted wounds, whatever it is that she had going on, I want to personally, as a content creator, keep the same energy across the board that we had for her when we was holding her accountable. I want to keep that energy also when people do stuff well. Shout out to this phenomenal black woman who overcame the odds, who overcame all of the problems and the issues and the trouble. And do not think that I'm not going to be holding y'all accountable. But let me also give y'all the credit where credit is due. She worked her ass off. She took care of her business. She held it down. She largely divested herself from all of the fuckery and the issues and the problems and the limelight. And she went back to the lab and she hit it. She went into lane 9. You didn't hear nothing from her. She did not complain about it. She didn't do anything bad. You ain't seen nothing happening with her as far as the problems and the trouble. Yeah, we can have a conversation about holding her accountable about her looks and all of that other type of stuff, but we can save that from another day. Can we give Sha'Carri Richardson her flowers? Can we give Sha'Carri Richardson her flowers? Can we look at her as an inspiration when it comes to the dedication and overcoming and not necessarily letting your losses then define what it is that you're going to be in the future, but that the redemption story, the arc, the thing that you use in order to continue to propel yourself forward is the thing that we should be championing just as much as we holding people accountable for the things that they didn't do right. I personally think that Sha'Carri Richardson is doing a great job. I love what it is that she's doing. I think that she's putting on and representing the United States phenomenal. Thank you, Sha'Carri Richardson, for putting on and representing what hard work look like. We definitely gotta clean up the tattoos and stuff, but in a general sense, I think that she's awesome. I think that she's done great, and I think that this is a great inspiration for how it is that you recover and you don't let the things that you go through get you down, but you go back into the lab and you take care of business. Shout out to her. Absolutely awesome. I loved watching this. I loved watching the replay, and I couldn't wait to react to it. I know it's not the popular thing. I know it's not the thing that y'all want me to talk about. I know it's not the thing that y'all want to highlight, but we got to give flowers and we got to give credit where credit is due. And we can't ignore it when they do something awesome. We also got to acknowledge it on the other side. So shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. Phenomenal race. You're getting your flowers over here from Anton Daniels.